Hello everyone, I am Amit. Today we will start with basic concept of Python. In Python we will focus on input function. So what is the role of input function is to take user input from user and store it in variable. And there are different type of data types in Python. So what is a Python? Python is a scripting language and it is very simple language like if you are writing x is equal to 5, y is equal to 2 and z is equal to summation of x and y. Now if you'll print z, you will get the output. So this is so simple, like you are running statements, English statement only. This is really very simple language. And now we'll go to the most difficult code in Python, which is print. Print is used to print the value. Hello, what? So if you have printed this in your system, it means you have installed the Python and you have installed the Python IDE to run your programs. If you are able to run this code, it means you have a zeal to understand and start going with Python and you can learn it. So start coding it. As soon as you will start coding, you will learn how easy Python is. For this tutorial, I am using Jupyter, which is a part of Anaconda, a Jupyter IDE for doing the configuration. So let's understand the different kind of data types in Python. So we have first category is numeric, further divided integer, float, complex number. Integer we know like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Float we have like decimal number, like weight, height, and integer like roll calls. And complex number is like first part is real and other part, second part is imaginary. Here 3 is a real number, 4j is imaginary number. It deals complex number as well. Dictionary and dictionary is like a book where you have index and index topics are associated with index. So you can say index are unique and topics may gets repeated on different index. Okay. Another is boolean like 0 or 1, true or false. It deals with those kind of data as well. Now we'll come to sequence type, string. Even if you'll write a single character, it will be considered as a string in Python. Another is list. It is in square bracket. It is a combination of objects. You can say the list. This list is a combination of integer values. So it is 2472. It's a combination of integer values. It has index and index start from 0 like we have in our book, right? In the same way, but it start from 0. So at 0 index we have a 2, at 1 index we have a 4, at 2 index we have a 7, and at 3 index we have 2. And what is the length of this string? You can see 4. And we have tuple 4 and 2. So we have taken tuples. Yes, it is also like a list, but you cannot. It is immutable. You cannot change the value of it. You cannot add it. You cannot remove it. You can just check what is the value stored on the first element and second index. You can check that. Then what is the purpose of tuples? Like we have week, we have month. Those are fixed, right? We have names of few things which are same. So we can save it in tuple so that even someone try to change it, they cannot change it because tuple is not immutable. Hope you understood that. Then set. Set is same as a list, but it does not repeat any object. Here you can see number 2 is repeated, but in set you cannot repeat it. Even if you type 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, when you will print it, it will be 2/2 comma 3. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now let's take, so we'll understand how to take integer as an input, float as an input, string as an input, list as an input in this tutorial. Let's start. So first we'll take a string as a user input. Now we have taken str as a user defined variable. I have defined the variable str. You can write any name which suits you and is equal to. Now we have called function. Wherever you see parenthesis after the name, this is a function. It means we are calling function and whatever value you pass, this is called argument. So you are passing some argument to a function to work on. Like if you have a switch at your home, once you click it, only then your fan gets started, right? It is not like in middle of the night fan gets started and fan gets stopped, right? You have to call the function. How will you call? You'll click it on, switch on or switch off, right? In the same way, function work in languages as well. Here we have called input function. So what it does, input function will take the user input and it will store equal to, it store in a variable. Okay, let's run it. Now we'll pass hello word. Okay, I have passed it. Now for printing it, we have a print function as name suggests, right? So we have printed it. Now you can see hello world. And in Jupyter ID, you do not have to write print. You can directly print the variable directly running it. So I'll go str and I'll run it. You can see hello world. I got the same output. Okay. Now we'll check the type of variable. What kind of value we have stored. To make sure we have stored a string, right? We can see we have stored a string. So let's take in integer as a user input. Okay. So again, the process will remain same. You can run. 8. I've given 8 number. Type of it's a string, man. Why? Because whenever you call input function, it will always return a string, even if you pass float or even an integer. So we have to convert it. So how can we convert it? We will use input int as a function. So you can see here int is a function and this is the argument which we are passing, and you as we know input will take a string, so we'll pass a string in the integer and it will convert it into integer. Let's run it and check. So I've given 9, and in next line I'll check number and the type of that number. So you can see number is 9 and what is the type? Integer. So it's clear. Let's run on a float now. Now my variable is fl and I have called float, I have input. So again, input is argument for float function. Let's run it. 4.5. 4.5, and what is the type? Float. Let's pass integer. Again, in the same way, I'm passing the integer instead of float. You can see integer will be converted into float, but vice versa is not possible. Let's check that. Means you cannot pass float value into integer. Let's run it. See, because it doesn't know how to convert the float. 5.6, should we take 6 or 5? It is not sure, but if you are giving integer, it can easily convert into float. It has to add the decimal and then 0. It won't change the value, right? Okay. Other way to get int and float, first you need to take the input. Now I have given int x is equal to input. I have passed 4 as a user input. Now I will print x and type of x. You can see 4 and a string. Now x we will call int function, and now print x and print type of x. You can see for an integer. We already did it, right, using int function. So here we have used multiple line, but above we have used single line to get it completed. In the same way we can do for float. We won't see it here. Now another example, another thing. Now you can see in x we have 4, which is integer. Now we'll convert into a string. So you know, right, we cannot convert integer 456 in a string. We have got there. A string object is not callable. We cannot call a string function. Okay. Let's take multiple variables. So one way is to write multiple lines. If you have n number of, if you have to take n number of input for variables, you have to write n number of lines. But you can save your time using a split function. So what it does, it will split as per the argument passed. If you will not pass any argument, by default it will take space. So let's try and run it. So I'll pass I am Amit. Okay. So next line I'm printing x, y, z and type of all the variables. So you can see in x I have I, In Y I have am, in Z I have Amit, and str. All the types are string. Okay. So a split function takes value and is a string function which will split a string on the value provided. By default, it will take uh, space. And let's check the example. Here we have a string defined as Amit has Upadhyay. You can see I printed it. Now we'll split it. Using the hash means we have to split the string using hash. Yes, wait. Now print the string and type of a string. So you can see str is splitted. And one thing you will notice, this is in square bracket. The square bracket is used in list. So all split always return a list. It runs on a string and it will always return a list. You must understand this. Then type of str variable is list. You can see variable type of variable is list because now it has been converted into list by using a split function. And now if we have to check the value at zero index and type of zero type of variable is stored in zero index, you can see 0 1. uh, the str0 output is Amit and type of str0 is a string. Now we'll run it for another example. So you can see I have written 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It seems like it's a number, but it is a string. How I'm so confident about it because it is in quotes. You can write in a single quote or double quote. Anything written in single quote or double quote will be considered as a string. So let's try and run it. So you can see str I have run it. You can see output is in single quote 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and str split. I have used split because there is a space and it will split according to space and will return list. Correct. So you can see it has returned. And the type of the value str 02, 0, 1, 2. The type is string. Okay. Let's make multiple int and float. So till now we have taken multiple input as a string, but now we will see how to take multiple value as a int and float. N and M. We'll pass 3 and 4. We got error. What is error? We have used input int as a function and argument is input dot split. And what is the output of input dot split is a list. So what is a list? List is a collection of objects. So list cannot be converted into int. You cannot convert into int. Float can be converted into int. String can be converted into int, but you cannot convert the list. You then we need another mechanism to do it. Either we can store n number of variables in n lines and then again convert each variable using int function one by one. So it will take 2n lines to do this. But using map function, we can do it in a one line. Let's understand map function. What is a map function? So map function, it takes two variables. First variable is a function and second variable is iterables. What is iterables? It iterates means you can run on it. Like you are saying from range from 5 to 10. So it will iterate from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you are giving 5, you cannot iterate it, right? It's just a number. Okay. So list is a iterable where you have an index. You can iterate using index. Okay. And function, any function you can use. Function means it is a you can use any function here. So for our purpose, we will use int or float function. Iterable, what will be iterable? Input dot split, which will return list. Okay. So function will be int and iterable will be input dot split. So map, the first thing will be function. So we are using int function. We have called int function. And input dot split. Input dot split we will return list as we know. Let's run it. Let's quickly run each objects 3, 4, 5 and type is int. In the same way you can do it for float. Let's take input in a list. Now, till now we have checked integer, float, string. Now I will check how to take values in a list. Then first we will run my list input split. So we know it will return this list. Let's run it. Don't waste time. Amit. Let's run the output. You can see it has splitted. I am Amit. It's a list and type of is a list. Now if you have to take integer or float, how will you do? My list map in the same way which we have done for multiple variables to store in it. Let's try that in list. So in map function is int and input is split is a iterable which is list. Let's run it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now run it. A map function return map object. So you can see num list is a map object. And what is the type of this? Is a map. So we have to convert the map object into list. And how will you do? Yeah, correct. We have to use the list function. Num list is equal to list and we will pass the num list, which is type of map. Now it will be converted into list. Let us run it. So you can see it is in square bracket and what is the type? List. So you understood, right? We will be using this function map in float, and we got the map object, and map object is converted using list function into list. Check is member. So what is member? 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we should check what is the type of the member. So you can see it's integer. So in the same way we can do it for float. And what we can do, we can combine both function, map function and list function in a single line to reduce the number of codes. So you can see in list we have passed the argument. This argument will be converted into list. Okay. And what is the argument? Map. And map we have passed float and input. Float is a function and input dot split we will return the iterable which is list. So list will be converted into float and it the output of map function will be map object and map object will be converted into list. Let's run it. 2, 3, 4, 5.6. Now we'll print the num list, type of num list, and we'll check the value at index level 3. You can see all the variables are, all the stored members are float. And what is the type of num list? List. What is the uh, type of num list at index 3? Float. So we have understood, right? How we can save the integer list or float list. Let's understand the slicing. What is slicing? Slicing is like cutting a cake, right? You slice a cake. Slicing means you will cut the small part. So this is a list. So you understood, right? 0 is index 0, member value is 2, index 1, 3, index 2, 4, index 5, 3, 4, and so on. Now I will use for slicing we use this. If you'll not pass any value to the left and to the right, by default it will take 0 from starting and till end. Let's run it. Okay, first we need to run this one. Only then it will get stored in memory. Now we'll run it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see we have the list. Now we'll start from 2. So it will start from 0, 1, 2 till end because we haven't mentioned the right side 4, 5, 6. Now till 3, starting from 0 to 3. 2 to 4, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see 6 is not printed because when you mention the number, it won't consider that number. Means fourth index will not be printed. It will print 2 and 3. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Minus 1. If minus 1 means start from the back side. So minus 1 will be 6 till end. So minus 6 is the last element, and till last is last. You can run it. Why did we do this? Because sometimes we need list number of variable where we need to fix the numbers. Like we have to store 3, even if provides multiple inputs. Let's run this. We will pass 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Now run it. Let's see the output. Here we have just got 3 variable. How can we check the length of any variable? Is length function, len, len. Pass the variable name. So I passed just, you can see 3. And what is the type of list? The list. And what is the type of the members? We have used map as an int function. So it's an int. And we have reached to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Let's connect again and start doing the coding.